Asthma. Does it have you missing out on what you love with who you love? Get back to better breathing with Fasenra, an add-on treatment for eosinophilic asthma taken once every 8 weeks. Fasenra is not for sudden breathing problems. Serious allergic reactions may occur. Get help for swelling of your face, mouth, tongue, or trouble breathing. Don't stop your asthma treatments without talking with your doctor. Tell your doctor if your asthma worsens or you have a parasitic infection. Headache and sore throat may occur. Ask your doctor if Fasenra is right for you.
A championship court. This is the first of the round of 64-4.
4-6-1.
And it's gender doubles right around 4 p.m. Nice sneaky
Second
angle
serve.
from Zane Ford.
Yeah, Victoria DiMuzio's blocking ability seems to, I mean, just very short, compact motion.
4-6-2.
Fantastic for, you know, all these hard drives that are coming in from John-Lucian Goins, and really just handling it very nicely. So Zane Ford kind of electing for more of that tennis, you know, massive swing, which if the timing connects, it's going to be very lethal. But sometimes there's some miscues.
Side out.
It's always so tempting, though, right? When you have that tennis background, and it seems like you need to crush the wiffle ball to be effective.
Point.
Yeah, definitely. And you see guys like a Zane Ford who comes in and you're not expecting it, and he just overwhelms and powers and can do that. But eventually you run into people that can block,
right?
You know, and then it's, you know, you have to really start to kind of mix those up to where you can get that shot. Once again, he's figured that out. He's playing great. And, really fun to watch.
Point.
Zane Ford hits that one with a smirk to follow it up. Off the bounce. High level of deception. So fancy for no reasons. The words out of his mouth after that one.
Yeah, I will say one of the best things that was ever told to me back in the day was from Tony Giannone out of Orlando. And I'll give him a shout out for sure, because it was the funniest thing he ever said. It was just like, it doesn't have to be that good.
Side out. Five, 8-1.
These two have battled on the singles court as well, and it's evident there.
Yeah, a little skinny singles action between those two for a minute. That was great to see, and very, very smart play by John-Lucian Goins, and really, honestly, not to try to ISO Victoria DiMuzio so much that Zane feels like he can take over the court and just kind of play himself, you know, which is great.
Second serve.
And sometimes it won't work.
The Atlanta Bouncers saw what you saw in Victoria DiMuzio, picking her up in the free agency draft this year for Major League Pickleball. Too much. Lucian Goins and Ford and DiMuzio back to work.
I think John-Lucian Goins missed that ball. He didn't really expect Zane Ford to kind of just float it up there.
8-6-1.
Really caught him off guard, but.
Second serve. You can't appeal, you can challenge. 8-6-2.
Look at the depth of this bracket, Mish, with, you know, I think this is the 68 seed, the 60 seed. I mean,
right.
It's incredible to see where we've come. And we said about that of the women's singles draw, to have a qualifier and to have all these things now, which is really, really cool.
You're the perfect person to speak on that. Nice leave for DiMuzio. Test in the middle. Stayed on balance. Found her way back into the play. And yeah, how far the sport has come.
Yeah.
Think back to the earliest days in 2020 for
9-6-2.
the PPA Tour. Did you ever think it would be this?
Hopeful. We were definitely hopeful. We, you know, I think, wow, great hands battle once again that Zane Ford comes up on. But I mean, like, that, you know, every time we think that it can't get bigger, it just keeps going and going. And so, you know, more people are thirsty to get in here and to compete and test themselves. And they feel confident from their, you know, they've become a local legend. And now it's time to test themselves even more. And yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Side out.
One game point held off by Bui and Goins.
6-10-1. Double bounce, second serve. Six, 10-2. Side out. Game point.
Quick hold and game point number 2 for DiMuzio and
10-6-1.
Ford. Ooh.
Second serve. Game point.
Yeah, that's a good point. Really kind of interesting to see, and I'd like to see more of
10-6-2.
you know, Maya Bui actually going at Zane Ford a little bit. He looks really comfortable right now, and they're trying to ISO Victoria a lot, so going at him some more. Kind of, she hit him on the hip a couple different times, and it worked out, you know, more than it didn't. So that's okay to, I think, kind of keep him home there, you know, to open up the rest of the court a little bit. So if they don't get this game, maybe that's an adjustment going into game 2.
Point.
DiMuzio throws her hip into it. Attempts to bury it down the line on Goins. He's
7-10-1.
there and lets it fly.
Second serve.
Yeah, and again, another opportunity they have coming up here, but at the same time, you know, the ability to go ahead and do a dink or do a drop to an angle one to the backhand of Zane is I think, okay.
Point.
Even though they get away with a nice shot there down the middle. But, you know, if all the shots are kind of going on Zane's right foot to his forehand, he's going to be able to dictate what he wants to do for the next couple balls and be big. And so really kind of...
Me back to the Veolia Atlanta Pickleball Championships. Presented by Ensure Max Protein. Game point number 4 returns to the panel of Victoria DiMuzio.
Point game.
They'll get it there, but what a battle by Bui and Goins at the end to challenge Ford and DiMuzio. But nonetheless, a little break in the action is what got it done. 11-8. The finish in Grand Slam event of the year here at the Veolia Atlanta Pickleball Championships, presented by Ensure. Ooh, slight skew in the middle, but what did you see from the other side that dropped the first, Bui and Goins, that you'd like to see them either replicate or maybe adjust? You talked about Testing Zane Ford a bit down the line. Anything else after this point?
I think Maya Boy can kind of insert herself a little bit more right now. John Lucian, I know it's mixed doubles and he's trying to create pressure and all that stuff, but I mean, Victoria and Zane kind of working more together as a team, pressing, and Maya Boy just kind of hanging back a little more. So I'd like to see her get a little bit more aggressive and then not be afraid again to go at Zane Ford more, like she's trying to do there, which is nice to see. But
second serve.
But yeah, definitely Maya Boy kind of getting more involved and trying to create for John Lucian
0-1-2.
more so than making him react to kind of what's coming.
Side out. One zero one.
Oh,
Point.
what a move by Ford to set it up. DiMuzio splits the difference down the middle.
Yeah, you can definitely see some miscommunication kind of
2-0-1.
happening between these two. It looks DiMuzio and Zane Ford kind of looking just a little bit more comfortable together. John Lucian Goins is kind of letting a couple balls in the middle go there, trying to think that maybe because she has such a Maya Boy has such a good two-handed backhand, maybe she wants that ball, and we'll see if they can kind of get that together here after obviously dropping the first game. Maybe a little bit of confidence dropped as well, so see if they can get that back.
Point. Three zero two.
Wow,
Side out.
Maya Boy packs some heat too. What a play, both pairs, both sides.
0-3-1. Second serve.
Yeah, Zane Ford with a little touch volley there.
0-3-2.
Starting to feel pretty confident. Kind of sensing a little discord between the
Point.
two, but then here's John Lucian Goins just going ahead and take over with a big forehand, but creating pressure and who can press who in mixed doubles is
1-3-2.
very, very important to establish if you can.
Point.
Just a touch deep for Zane Ford. Heavy pressure from Goins.
2-3-2. Point. Three, 3-2.
Nice.
Point.
Block back at you from Maya Boy. Turns defense and channels it right back. Have another look. What a get.
4-3-2.
Just stick the paddle out there. Fantastic.
Now she's feeling confident. Maya Boy on the attack.
Yeah, and even missing that ball deep and just kind of making a statement and just kind of, I know it's probably out of frustration a little bit right now, but like you're still in this, getting into it, go for it, start hitting the ball, air it out some. It's okay.
Maya Boy also
3-4-1.
plays for the Miami Pickleball Club in Major League Pickleball. Has had some nice wins with Millie Rain as well.
Second serve.
It's a great cover by John Lucian Goins. And a good move by Zane Ford. He had it, and just a great cover.
3-4-2. Side out.
Idea just deep for Victoria DiMuzio. Ball back to Boy and Goins.
4-3-1. Second serve.
I'm sure there is an adjustment as well, Mish, for someone like Maya Boy, who's, again, you said part of the Miami, you know, Pickleball Club and MLP, and playing with different people, you know, from that team, and then having a new partner with John Lucian Goins. So I think there's probably a little bit of an adjustment there to go from MLP back to tournament play.
That's a great point. 2 new partnerships on both sides, too. Ford and DiMuzio coming together for the first time.
3-4-1. Point. Four, 4-1.
Ooh.
Second serve.
A step in and then a step back in the middle. We've all been there before. So, neutral ball in the middle. Who is it? Could be both players, but how do you identify that?
Definitely could be both, but you know, a little bit of communication would help definitely. And I think probably Zane has been taking that ball the majority of the time just to be consistent. But you know, obviously he has some respect for Victoria's backhand, which as he should. So it's, again, comes down to a little bit of partner communication. But that's probably the only first sign we've seen that it is a new partnership, and a couple kinks there to work out. But
point. Six, 4-2.
Oh, down goes Ford again.
Side out.
Crossed over by John Lucian Goins.
Yeah, great defense
Timeout
though from
4-6-1.
From both sides, and really just the offensive pressure there from John Lucian Goins and Maya Bowie, but really Zane.
It's the style that he possesses when he's at his best. He being Zane Ford.
Second serve. 4-6-2.
Zane Ford covering his backside that time. Maya Bowie gets caught.
Yeah, stayed home on that one, but knew that was coming too. She pulled the paddle back pretty quick. I think he kind of read it.
6-4-1.
Kind of would like to see her go back and get into that battle again cross court. So until she finds her opening.
Zane wasn't going to get burned twice down the middle, but that time left himself vulnerable.
6-4-2. Side out. Four, 6-1. Point.
Yeah, smart play there from John Lucian Goins. Just to go ahead and dink, not speed up, not take your time.
5-6-1.
Ball down.
Yeah. Wow. Oh, man, such a good defensive sequence there for Bowie. Goes a little high there, and Zane Ford buries it.
Yeah, she didn't like going to the backhand last time. Thought she would mix it up and go to the forehand, but great defense from Zane Ford and Victoria DiMuzio to keep themselves alive until they got what they wanted.
Point. Six, 6-2.
Wow.
Side out.
Well, they got exactly what they wanted, and that's actually a really great point. And really, at 6-all, you would think that all the pressure, all the roaring from Zane Ford and them, that they'd be ahead by a lot,
Right.
but all tied up here. And that point is probably what you want to see more of from Maya Boy and John Lucian Goins, just kind of dictate pace that way.
I'm good. There's a bug.
Until they get exactly what they want.
6, 6-1.
Oh, not the way you would
serve.
expect that point to end after finally doing all that work to get back to the line.
Yeah, again, fantastic defense from Ford and DiMuzio, but you know,
6,
just
6,
making
2.
balls and keeping them back, and that's great work from Maya
Side
Boy.
out.
And then if you can get, you know, Zane frustrated a little bit, it can get away from him. So this is, you know, starting to play
6,
into
6,
their
1.
hands of dictating pace again, just slowing everything down and get that cross-court dink battles going. If they can get up there, it's going to be the tricky part.
Point.
Unforced miss from Zane Ford once again.
7, 6-1. Point. Eight, 6-1. Point.
Trickling third gets Zane Ford in some trouble. Another point for Bui.
9, 6-1. Point. Referee timeout. We have a challenge
I
at the
thought that
out
one was
call.
good.
The out
We'll
call
take a
split the
peek.
set. Game point 10-6-1. We'll now proceed to
Zane,
video
you know, it
review.
was a challenge anyway. I think he might have needed a
Yeah.
minute to cool down after a
9-6-2. Point. Game point.
Game point
10-6-2.
here for John Lucian Goins. ATP
Side out.
attempt well deep. Ford and DiMuzio still alive, but hanging on by a thread.
6-10-1.
And that ball's not
Second
coming
serve.
back.
It's a massive forehand from John Lucian Goins, and again, the ability to just keep them back and create.
6-10-2.
Another
Side out.
unforced for Zane Ford. Trying to do too much, it
Game
seems.
point.
Game point number 2.
10-6-1. Second serve.
Maya Boy
Game
cannot
point.
be happy about that one. I think she wanted to, she couldn't decide whether or not to let it go or
Yeah.
not.
10-6-2.
Game point number 3 now for Goins. Well,
Point
deep for
game,
Zane
11-6.
Ford, who steps away, fades away, sends it long. We're going 3.
We'll see if Maya Boy and John Lucian Goins can
1-0-2.
continue what got them here. And that was to dictate pace up at the kitchen line. Keeping everything down, but as that one's going to go a little high. So Zane Ford, on the other hand, having a bit of a mental lapse probably in game 2. Looks like he's going to be okay from that as we have a fresh game here. And see if he can become big again in the middle of the court.
Second serve. 0-1-2. Side out.
And that one just going to sneak in back of the baseline from John Lucian Goins. Thought that one was going to go long. Both Zane Ford and Victoria DiMuzio letting it go.
1-0-1.
Lands just in.
Second serve.
And John Lucian Goins and Maya Boy feeling their groove here a little bit, starting to really
1-0-2.
but, you know, find their game here. However, that speed up right to Zane Ford's forehand.
Side out.
So, game 3, what gives in this one on both sides? X Factor, who are you going with and why?
0-1-1.
Well, given it's, you know, you gotta have your X factor. Really, Victoria DiMuzio has been solid the entire time. So, you know, it's really going to be Zane Ford. Can he connect and kind of keep his emotions in check a little bit enough to make everything kind of just go and still take over at the same time?
Second serve.
From DiMuzio, to your point.
Yeah, and same goes over here for, you know, Maya Boy and pulling that trigger just a little too soon. Sometimes just go ahead and grind it out a little bit more. Let the point develop versus trying to create something too soon.
Side out. One zero one. Second serve. One zero two. Side out. Zero one one.
Nice.
Second serve.
Yeah, really nice shot from John Lucian Goins. Kind of held it back like he was going to pull the trigger down the middle, and so Zane Ford sliding.
0-1-2.
Just kind of rolls it nicely. Very cool.
Oh my, does it again. Twice.
Side
the
out.
same angle, twice. The same winner.
Again,
John
we talked
Lucian
about the first one.
Goins.
We've talked about the first game of, man, I'd like to see them go behind Zane Ford a little bit more once he starts feeling big in the middle, and they've done it 2 times in a row now. So we'll see if
Point.
now another clean winner from John Lucian Goins behind Zane Ford.
2-0-1.
Nice.
Point.
Lucy and Goins proving to be the X factor on his side, regardless of what anyone says. 4 in a row
3-0-1.
for this kid.
Yeah, I think Zane Ford wanted to prove he could do that shot too, and John Lucian Goins just taking full advantage of that. But a great look
Second
there from
serve.
Victoria DiMuzio to go behind him. After John Lucian Goins starting to feel his confidence rise, Victoria DiMuzio wanted to keep that in check.
3-0-2.
And the defense converts too.
No, that's a.
Sets up Maya Bui.
Don't do that.
Yeah, Maya
warning.
Boy finally connecting on
You
one,
did
which
step on it.
kind of hears her roar go, but at the same time, it's, you know, getting away with some of the pulls, and
4-0-2.
hopefully we'll see if Zane can kind of settle in on the next few for her.
Alicia Smith laying down the law too, telling Zane Ford not to step on the ball. Got him a warning. Ooh, just
Side out.
wide. He said, I didn't do that. She said, yes, you did. I saw you.
Side out.
Consider yourself warned.
0-4-1. Second serve.
Yeah, great play from John Lucian Goins and Maya Boy. A little bit more patient there, kind of dictating from the kitchen line once again. And really setting everything up nicely if they can just get it to the dinking battle.
0-4-2.
A little bit more, especially with Zane.
Side out. Four zero one. Second serve. Four zero two. Side out.
Behind that one for Victoria DiMuzio.
Yeah, definitely letting out a little bit of frustration possibly, but really Victoria DiMuzio has been rock solid throughout this match. And, you know, I think even because she can't hurt you as much, maybe even just mixing it up with the drops to Victoria, then go behind Zane, then go back to Victoria, and then really
You asked for a dinking battle and you got one, except Maya Bui went to the wrong door.
tried to go behind Zane Ford. He's starting to read it now, and so able to make the adjustment.
1-4-1. Second serve. One, 4-2. Side out. Four, 1-1. Second serve. Four, 1-2.
Wow. The 1-2 punch combination. Maya Bui loads up. John Lucian Goins follows it up.
Yeah, great two-handed finish there from John Lucian Goins.
5-1-2. Point.
And here at the switch, man,
Timeout,
another
change in.
couple
6-1-2.
unforced errors from Victoria DiMuzio, which we haven't seen.
Full day of action so
Time
far.
in.
This is the round of
6-1-2.
28. 128, excuse me, in mixed doubles. That's a number in there.
That's a pretty
Side
big
out.
field, round of 128.
Yeah. The field is stacked
1-6-1.
and the field is full. Next round for the winner of this one gets Catherine Parento and Federico
Second
Stacks
serve.
through the 3 seat.
That'll be a great experience for whoever comes out of this match.
1-6-2.
Opportunity to take on the 3 seed there, Catherine Parento and Federico Stackstrud.
Point. Two, 6-2.
Guy is an animal
Side
at the
out.
kitchen. He's been that way since midway through game 2. Saw it start to come out at the end of game 1, and he has
6-2-1.
trended up throughout this entire match. There he goes again.
Point.
Yeah, and he's just absolutely dominating the kitchen line right now. John Lucian Goins just able to move left and right, and Zane Ford's forehand not nearly as lethal as it
7-2-1.
was at game 1, so maybe a little fatigue sneaking in here too. But John Lucian Goins is playing
Second
absolutely
serve.
lights out right now, Mish.
I'd have to agree with you there.
7-2-2. Side out.
Beat Zane Ford. Gets lucky with a let cord. He'll take it. She'll smile it off. Well played by Maya Bui.
2-7-1. Second serve.
Yeah, John Lucian Goins just so quick after the initial strike there to come back and reload. His reload speed is what is really
2-7-2.
incredible, just to be ready for the next ball and the next ball.
Finally, a ball goes down. Wicked defense from Bui and Goins.
3-7-2. Side out. Seven, 3-1.
Nice. Zane Ford rallies
Second serve.
for a comeback.
Yeah, great play by all 4 players. Great defense. And Zane Ford and Victoria DiMuzio on the winning hand of that one. But John Lucian Goins and Maya Bui are getting exactly what they want out of every point right now.
Yeah.
And looking very comfortable here in game 3.
7-3-2.
Goins
Point.
again through the middle, full stretch ahead. This guy is a special talent.
8-3-2.
Singles, and now you're starting to see sparks of it in doubles too. Maya Bui
Point.
cranks
Big
it.
two-handed backhand right on the hip of Zane Ford. And, you know, John-Lucian Goins is not as maybe flashy as compared to some of the players, but just very solid and connects and hits down on the
9-3-2.
ball and has everything you need. It just, it doesn't, you know, it's really kind of just fun to watch.
Point.
Perfect setup combination.
Match
Their
point.
first time playing together, Bui and Goins earned match points.
10-3-2. Point.
It's
game
wide.
match, 11-3.
Bui and Lucian Goins take it and advance. The next task ahead, you ask? Well, Federico Staxford and Catherine Parento. Not so fast, they say, but hey, why not? Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Maya Boy and John-Lucian came alive after game one, kind of settled in, adjusted. I think the adjustments actually between both of them, just incredible from losing game one and then taking 2 and 3. So they just kept looking better and better.